Helen Crawford stood in front of the house staring up at what was now technically hers. It looked like something from a nightmare. 3 stories of rotting wood and broken windows. The porch sagged dangerously. The roof had holes. Paint peeled in long strips. Vines covered half the structure like the earth was trying to reclaim it. Before we continue with Helen's story, if you love emotional true stories that will leave you speechless, please hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Drop a comment below telling me what city you're watching from. Your support means everything. Now let's see what Helen discovered inside this terrifying house. This was her inheritance. The house her Uncle Bernard had left her. The house nobody wanted. Helen was 49 years old. A widow of 1 year. Her husband James had died of a sudden heart attack. One moment he was mowing the lawn. The next he was gone. No warning. No goodbye. Just gone. Helen had been devastated. Still was. The grief came in waves. Some days she could function. Others she could barely get out of bed. Money was tight. James's life insurance had covered the funeral and paid off some debt. But Helen's job as a school librarian didn't pay much. She was struggling. When the lawyer called about Uncle Bernard's will, Helen had hoped for something that would help. Maybe a little money. Enough to ease the financial pressure. Instead, she got this house. The lawyer had been apologetic. Your uncle left you his property at 1247 Blackwood Lane. I have to warn you, it's in poor condition. Very poor condition. Several family members declined the inheritance before you. You're actually 5th in line. 5th in line. 4 people had said no to a free house. That should have been Helen's first warning. But Helen was desperate. A house was a house. Even a bad house had value. She could sell it. Use the money to pay bills. Maybe even buy a small condo. Something affordable. Something manageable. So she had accepted. Signed the papers. Became the owner of 1247 Blackwood Lane. Now standing here, Helen understood why people had refused. The house wasn't just in poor condition. It was a wreck. Probably condemned. Probably not even safe to enter. But it was hers. And she needed to see what she was dealing with. Helen walked up the porch steps carefully. They creaked ominously. One broke under her weight. Her foot went through. She pulled it out carefully. Scraped her shin. This was already going badly. The front door was unlocked. Actually, the lock was broken. Helen pushed the door open. It groaned. Inside was dark. Smelled of mold and rot and something else. Something dead, maybe. Helen pulled out her phone. Used the flashlight. The interior was as bad as the exterior. Peeling wallpaper. Water-damaged floors. Holes in the ceiling. Furniture covered in dust and decay. This wasn't a house. This was a demolition project. Helen walked through the first floor. Living room. Dining room. Kitchen. All ruined. The kitchen sink had collapsed through rotted counters. The stove was covered in rust. Cabinets hung open. Empty except for mouse droppings. She found stairs. Tested them carefully. They seemed stable enough. Went up to the 2nd floor. 3 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. All in the same condition. Destroyed. Unlivable. Worthless. Helen felt tears coming. This was it. This was her inheritance. Not help. Not salvation. Just another problem. Another burden. She couldn't afford to fix this place. Couldn't afford to demolish it. Probably couldn't even afford the back taxes on it. She sat on the floor of what had been a bedroom and cried. For James. For her situation. For the unfairness of it all. Why did life keep taking from her? Why couldn't she catch a break? After a while, Helen wiped her eyes. Stood up. She would at least see the whole property. Then she would figure out what to do. Maybe abandon it like the others had. Let it become the city's problem. The 3rd floor was accessed by a narrower staircase. Helen climbed carefully. At the top was a single large room. An attic that had been converted to living space. It was in better condition than the rest of the house. Roof damage, yes, but the floor was solid, the walls intact, and it wasn't empty. There was furniture, a bed, a desk, bookshelves full of books, personal items. Someone had lived here. Recently, maybe. Or at least more recently than the rest of the house. Helen walked around exploring. Found clothes in a closet. Men's clothes. Large sizes. Found photographs on the desk. A young man. Different ages. Childhood. Teenage years. Young adult. Always alone in the photos. Never smiling. Helen found a journal. Leather bound. She hesitated. Reading someone's journal felt wrong. Invasive. But this was her house now. And she needed to understand what she was dealing with. She opened it to the first page. The handwriting was messy but legible. My name is Marcus Crawford. I am writing this because I need someone to know. Someone to understand. This house is cursed. I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean it literally. Something is wrong here. Something evil. Helen felt a chill. Cursed. Right. She didn't believe in curses. Didn't believe in supernatural anything. This was just a deteriorating house. Nothing more. But she kept reading. I've lived here for 3 years. Alone. Isolated. Because I can't leave. Every time I try something stops me. Fear. Panic. An overwhelming certainty that leaving will result in death. Not my death. Someone else's. Someone I love. I know how this sounds. Crazy. Delusional. But it's true. I've tried to leave dozens of times. Each time I get to the edge of the property and I feel it. The certainty. If I leave, my mother will die. My sister will die. Someone will die and it will be my fault. So I stay. I've been staying. Hiding. Existing. This house is falling apart around me, but I can't leave. The curse won't let me. If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. Or I finally escaped. Either way, I need you to know. Don't stay here. Don't try to live here. The house doesn't want to be abandoned, but it doesn't want to be lived in either. It wants something else. I don't know what. But it's hungry. Always hungry. Helen closed the journal. Her hands were shaking. This was insane. Written by someone who was clearly mentally ill. Marcus Crawford. Was he related to Uncle Bernard? A son maybe? Or nephew? She flipped through more pages. The entries got worse. More paranoid. More desperate. Marcus wrote about hearing voices. Seeing shadows. Feeling watched. He wrote about trying to fix the house but every repair failing. Wood rotting overnight. Pipes bursting for no reason. The house fighting him. The final entry was dated 6 months ago. Short. Just 2 lines. I'm going to try one more time. Going to try to leave. If I don't make it, I'm sorry. To everyone. I'm sorry I wasn't stronger. Helen closed the journal. Looked around the attic. Was Marcus still here? Had he left? Or had something worse happened? She searched the room more thoroughly. Found more evidence of occupancy. Food wrappers. Empty water bottles. Medications. Prescriptions made out to Marcus Crawford. Anti-anxiety meds. Antipsychotics. This poor man had been struggling. Really struggling. Helen went back downstairs. Needed to get out. Needed fresh air. Needed to think. As she walked through the second floor, she heard something. A sound. Like footsteps. Above her. In the attic. She froze. Someone was up there. Someone had been there the whole time. Hello. Helen called out. Her voice shook. Marcus. Is someone there? The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a voice. Male. Weak. Please don't call the police. Please. I'm not hurting anyone. Helen climbed back up the stairs. Slowly. Carefully. At the top she found him. A man. Maybe 30 years old. thin, pale, terrified. He was pressed into a corner, shaking. "Are you Marcus?" Helen asked. The man nodded. "I'm sorry. I know this is your house now. I heard you downstairs. I'll leave. I promise. Just please don't call the police." Helen's heart broke. This man wasn't dangerous. He was scared, sick, trapped. "I'm not calling anyone," she said gently. "I'm Helen. I inherited this house from Bernard Crawford." "Was he your father?" "Grandfather," Marcus said. "He died 2 months ago. Heart attack. I couldn't go to the funeral. Couldn't leave. The curse." Helen sat down on the floor. Not too close. Didn't want to scare him more. "Tell me about the curse." Marcus laughed bitterly. "You don't believe in curses." "Nobody does. They think I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But that doesn't change what I feel. What I know." "Help me understand," Helen said. Marcus took a shaky breath. Then he told her. About moving here 5 years ago. About grandfather Bernard letting him stay. About the mental breakdown he'd had. Schizophrenia, the doctors said. Delusions. Paranoia. They gave him pills. Therapy. It helped some. But not enough. And then the house started talking, Marcus said. "I know that sounds crazy. But I heard it. Whispers. Warnings. Every time I tried to leave, it told me someone would die. Showed me visions. My mother in a car crash. My sister falling downstairs. So real. So vivid. I couldn't risk it." "So you stayed," Helen said. "For 5 years you've stayed in this attic." Marcus nodded. "Grandfather brought me food. Checked on me. When he died, I thought maybe I'd starve. But I have some money. Ordered delivery. Leave cash outside. Drivers think it's weird, but they do it." "Have you tried to leave?" "Recently. All the time," Marcus said. "Every day I think today I'll do it. Today I'll be brave. But I get to the front door and the panic hits. The certainty. Someone will die. It's my fault. I can't risk it." Helen looked at this broken man. This prisoner of his own mind. And she understood. This wasn't about a curse. This was about mental illness. Severe untreated mental illness. Marcus needed help. Real help. "What if I help you leave?" Helen said. "What if we do it together?" Marcus shook his head violently. "No. You don't understand. It's not safe. Someone will die." "Marcus," Helen said firmly. "Nobody will die. The curse isn't real. Your brain is lying to you. It's the illness. But we can fight it. Together. You don't know that. You can't know." "You're right. I can't know for certain. But I know this. You've been trapped here for 5 years. That's not living. That's existing. And you deserve better." Marcus started crying. "I want to leave. God, I want to leave. But I'm so scared." "I know," Helen said. "But I'll be with you. Every step. And if you start to panic, we'll stop. We'll breathe. We'll get through it." It took 2 hours. 2 hours of talking. Reassuring. Slowly moving Marcus toward the stairs. Then down to the 2nd floor. Then the 1st. Each step was agony for him. He shook. Hyperventilated. Begged to go back. But Helen held his hand. Talked him through it. Didn't let him give up. Finally they reached the front door. Marcus stopped. "This is it," he said. "This is where it happens. Someone dies." "Nobody dies," Helen said. "We just walk out. Together. On 3. 1, 2, 3. They stepped outside. Into the sunlight. Marcus collapsed on the porch. Sobbing. Helen sat next to him. Held him while he cried. Nothing happened. No one died. The world didn't end. They just sat in the sun. "I did it," Marcus whispered. "I actually did it." "You did," Helen said. "You were so brave." She called 911. Told them Marcus needed help. Medical help. The ambulance came. Paramedics were kind. Got Marcus on a stretcher. Asked Helen questions. She explained as best she could. Mental health crisis. 5 years in isolation. Needs psychiatric care. They took Marcus to the hospital. Helen followed in her car. Stayed with him through intake. Through evaluation. The doctors said he would need extended treatment. Possibly months. But he would get help. Real help. Over the next weeks, Helen visited Marcus regularly. He was in a psychiatric facility. Getting medication. Therapy. Group counseling. Slowly improving. And he told her more. About his mother who had died 3 years ago. Cancer. About his sister who had moved to Australia. Who he hadn't spoken to in years because he was too ashamed. About grandfather Bernard who had loved him but didn't know how to help him. The curse was grief, Helen realized. Marcus had lost so much. His mind created the curse to explain the loss. To give him control. If he stayed in the house, no one else could die. It was magical thinking. But it had felt real to him. Helen also learned about the house. Why it was ruined. Marcus explained that grandfather Bernard had been trying to force Marcus out. Thought if the house became unlivable, Marcus would have to leave. So he stopped maintaining it. Let it deteriorate. Hoping discomfort would overcome fear. It hadn't worked. Marcus had just adapted. Lived in worse and worse conditions. Because fear was stronger than discomfort. Helen made a decision. She would sell the house. Use the money to help Marcus. Pay for his treatment. Long-term care. Whatever he needed. The house was worth something even in ruins. The land had value. She could get maybe $50,000. Maybe more. She contacted a real estate agent. Explained the situation. The agent looked at the property. Shook her head. I can sell it. But it won't be much. Maybe $30,000. And that's if we find the right buyer. Someone who wants a teardown project. That's fine, Helen said. Whatever we get goes to Marcus's care. The house sold 6 weeks later. $28,000. Not a fortune. But enough. Enough for months of treatment. Enough for Marcus to heal. And Marcus was healing. After 3 months in the facility, he was different. Clearer. Calmer. The medications had been adjusted. Therapy was helping. He talked about the house differently now. Not as cursed. As a prison he'd created for himself. I was so sick, Helen, he said. I couldn't see it. Couldn't understand that my brain was lying to me. But you helped me see. You saved me. You saved yourself, Helen said. I just held your hand. Marcus moved into a halfway house after 4 months. Continued treatment. Started seeing his sister again. Reconnected via video calls. She was coming to visit. First time in 5 years. A year after Helen inherited the house, she met Marcus for coffee. He looked healthy. Had gained weight. Had color in his cheeks. Was smiling. I got a job, he told her. Part-time. At a bookstore. It's not much, but I like it. Being around people. Being normal. That's wonderful, Helen said. And I'm moving into my own apartment next month. Nothing fancy. Studio. But it's mine. First place I've had that I chose. That I'm not running from or hiding in. Helen felt tears. I'm so proud of you. Marcus reached across the table. Took her hand. You gave me my life back. I was dead in that house. Might as well have been. You brought me back. Helen shook her head. You were already coming back. You just needed someone to believe in you. They stayed in touch. Regular coffee dates. Updates on Marcus's progress. He continued to improve. Dated someone. Broke up. Dated someone else. Normal life stuff. Beautiful, mundane, normal life stuff. 2 years after inheriting the house, Helen heard that 1247 Blackwood Lane had been demolished. New construction going up. Condos probably. The neighborhood was gentrifying. She drove by one day. The lot was empty. No trace of the house remained, like it had never existed. Good, Helen thought. That house had held too much pain, too much fear. Better to let it go. Build something new. Something without ghosts. She thought about Uncle Bernard, about his will, about how 4 people had refused the inheritance before it came to her. They had seen a ruined house, a burden, a problem to avoid. But Helen had found Marcus, had saved a life, had given someone a second chance. The house had been a gift after all, just not the kind anyone expected. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible true stories about unexpected blessings, hidden struggles, and the power of compassion. Drop a comment below and let me know what city you're watching from. Have you ever found something valuable in what others rejected? Have you ever been that one person who didn't give up on someone? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone who feels worthless to keep fighting. Remember that sometimes the things everyone runs from are the things that need us most. That what looks like a curse might be a cry for help. That mental illness can imprison people as surely as physical chains. And that the greatest inheritance isn't property or money. It's the opportunity to change a life. To save someone who is drowning. To be the hand that pulls them back into the light. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And remember, if everyone else is running away, maybe you're meant to stay. Maybe you're meant to be the one who sees past the fear to the person who needs help. Be that person. The world needs more people who stay.